Once in your life, you've probably dreamed of living in Europe with the fancy restaurants, scenic views, and rich culture. It's like you're living in a fairy tale. But alas, the topic of living costs is what we're all concerned about. Living in such a state of grace, wouldn't it cost a fortune to live somewhere like that? Contrary to popular belief, there are several countries in Europe that you could live in with a limited budget. And today we'll be discussing what those countries are. Here is a list of Europe's top cheapest countries to live in.
But first, a simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We are giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or MacBook Pro. It's all your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple.
Starting off this list, we have Georgia. No, not the state. I'm talking about the country Georgia. It's a developing country located in the region of Eurasia, bounded by the Black Sea on the west, with Russia to the north and Turkey at its rear. It has an estimated population of 3.7 million, and its capital is Tbilisi. And if you were unaware, not only is the heart of Georgia Tbilisi, but it's also dubbed as the world's most bohemian city. You can order a meal from restaurants starting at $6, and can you believe you could get a full course meal for two for only $30. Talk about value for money. Living in Georgia is much cheaper compared to other well-known European countries. For one, the price of $650 is enough to cover your monthly expenses, and a one-bedroom apartment in the city center starts at $400. Of course, the further you are from the city, the price range drops as well. It's home to pretty much a number of architectural beauties, not to mention it also houses a number of UNESCO World Heritage Sites, so you can have the best of both worlds. Next off on the list is Belarus, aka White Russia. Belarus is a country situated in Eastern Europe with a population of about 9.4 million. It's pretty much a landlocked country, home to the last of the Białowieża forest. This country also has stunning scenery populated with people who have an eye for bonding. Aside from that, Belarus also boasts of its warm and friendly countrymen, so you're sure to just fit right in. Its capital, Minsk, is a popular tourist destination. Renting a one-bedroom apartment in the heart of the city costs around $400, and outside of the city, prices start to go down to $300. An average meal costs around $7, and you can even get a three-course meal that's good for two for $30. One thing that you do need to consider, though, is you're gonna have to learn to speak Belarusian, or Russian, since it's the main language out there. Because of this, teaching English is a good source of income as well. Women and wine. Welcome to Poland. Another country that made it to this list is Poland, home to one of the most hospitable and beautiful ladies. It's one of the more popular choices among the expats and tourists. Located in the heart of Europe, accommodation is pretty affordable here. The country boasts of its top-of-the-line healthcare system as well. Can you believe you can pretty much live off here starting at $500 for students and expats alike? If you plan on living in the capital, Warsaw, rent for a medium-sized flat starts at $800. However, if you move further from the city, it could go as low as $350 in the suburbs. Coming up next on the list is Ukraine. Known for its Orthodox churches, Ukraine holds the title of the largest country in Eastern Europe, aside from Russia, of course. Famous for its rich history, the country is also famous for its freelance works in the IT industry. Its capital is Kyiv, famous for a number of museums, churches, and cathedrals. Monthly rent in Kyiv starts at $700 for a one-bedroom apartment, but meals can be pretty cheap though. A single meal could cost as low as $3. Can you believe that? Slovakia, located between the borders of Hungary and Austria, it's also famous for its castles and chateaux scattered across the country. Its capital, Bratislava, is home to a population of 5.45 million. On average, monthly rent starts at $400, but if you plan on living in the capital, where the party's at, then you better shell out some $550 for a medium-sized flat. A cheap but decent meal starts at $6, and if you plan on eating in a mid-range restaurant, you can get a good serving for two at the price of $40. Next on the list is Latvia. Situated between Estonia and Lithuania, Latvia is located on the Baltic Sea. Its capital, Riga, is famous for many architectural buildings, lush landscapes, and lively crowds. Riga's central market is also home to quiet pubs, restaurants, and bars. For employment, language and the IT industry is also popular in this country. If you plan on living in Riga, a one-bedroom flat starts at the rate of $500, while the outskirts of the city start at the price of $350. Eating in an inexpensive restaurant costs as low as $8, while expenses from utilities range from $200 to $300. Like the other countries, teaching English is a good job opportunity in this country, so you might as well start brushing up your teaching skills. Next up, the home of the Black Sea, Romania. Home of the Carpathian Mountains, medieval castles, and primeval forests, Romania is also one of the cheapest countries to live in southeastern Europe. It's also home to the infamous Transylvania, which has long been connected to a certain Dracula? With a population of 19.3 million, its capital is Bucharest, which is home to a number of pubs, restaurants, gardens, monasteries, and palaces. The country is in demand for work in the construction industry and machine operators, so these are the possible sources of income you can apply to. For $1,500, you can live comfortably in Romania and may afford an above-average lifestyle. But if you're trying to live on a strict budget, there are cheaper rooms further off the city. The average starting price for a flat in Bucharest is $600, and at the lower ends, you can snag a room for the price of $300. Usually, rooms for rent include a living room and a bedroom, so it's fairly justifiable. You could also try finding lodging in the city of Brasov, since rent there starts at $400. Now, if you're concerned about your food allowance, you can bag a full meal starting at $6, and your $30 can buy you a 3-course meal for 2 in a mid-range restaurant. Coming in next, we have Hungary. That's right, the country famous for its thermal springs, culture, and traditional music made it here. Hungary is located in Central Europe with a population of 9.77 million, and its capital, Budapest, is bisected by the river Danube. Its main industry consists of mining and steel production and fabrication, as well as machine operations. It's also the best developed country in the eastern portion of Europe, so I'm pretty sure you could find employment that suits you. In regards to the room rentals, prices usually start at $450, which is a single-bedroom apartment. At the capital, the rates are higher since it's the city center, hence the prices start at $600 for a 1-bedroom flat. Don't worry, the food is cheap, and you can buy a meal for the cost of $7. Eating in a mid-range restaurant will cost you $40, but don't worry, that's good for 2 people. Next is the Czech Republic. The Czech Republic made it to the list of the cheapest countries to live in Europe. Hooray for the beer lovers! In case you didn't know, the Czech Republic is pretty famous for its beers, aside from the beautiful city of Prague and the stunning landscapes. It has a large expat community too, so you'll fit right in. Its capital, Prague, famous for its well-preserved castles, lively nightlife, and the public art scene. The city is pretty much brewing with cultural heritage that is a sight to see. If you're planning to rent a room in the city center, you gotta shell out at least $900, since that's the starting price for monthly rentals in the city. For food, you can buy yourself a meal for the price of $7, while a full-course meal costs $40. And last but not least, we have Bulgaria. Bulgaria is popularly known as the oldest country in Europe. Despite being the oldest, it is also a developing country wherein its industry heavily relies on tourism, agriculture, mining services, and construction. Its capital city is Sofia, and much smaller than Bucharest, so it gives off a cozy feeling. It homes several lively cafes and pubs, and boasts of its active nightlife as well, so I'm pretty sure you'll find an interesting thing to do or two in this city. For food, you can get a meal at the starting price of $8, but for full-course meals that are shared by 2, you can get them at $40. Don't worry, that $40 is a 3-course meal served in a mid-range restaurant in the city. If you want to go ahead and live in the city center, prices for a single room start at $450. But if you opt to live further away from the city, the prices could go as low as $350. So that's it. These are the countries that are the cheapest to live in Europe. But before you move out, I want to give you a few reminders. Although English is the universal language, some countries here do not speak English at all, or the people rarely do, such as Bulgaria. So you might want to invest time and start learning a new language or two to navigate throughout the city. Another thing to remember is the proximity of your workplace to your home. Although rent is cheaper in the suburbs, make sure that you're not making up for its cheapness by spending it on your transportation. If that's the case, I suggest you just live somewhere nearer, since at least you're spending on your comfort and not on the hassles of commuting. Finally, just do extensive research on the country you really want to live in. After all, it's your life that's gonna live out there, so might as well do some recon over the internet. So that's it for the entirety of this video. Keep safe out there, and thanks for watching.